Summary of Getting Things Done. The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. By David Allen. Beyond the calendar. Many people today take on more projects than they can handle properly, thereby increasing their levels of stress. The projects themselves are problematic. Many of them are hampered by continual change and by fuzzy edges, so it is not always clear whether the job is finished or not. This lack of borders creates added work in organizations and spurs unnecessary, frequent memos and discussions about work in progress. To accomplish your projects effectively and efficiently, you need to meet these two goals. 1. Capture everything you need to get done now, later, or sometime in the future in a logical, organized, trustworthy system that records everything outside of your own memory, so you don't have to think about these issues until you are ready. 2. Discipline yourself to make advanced decisions about how much information and instruction you allow into your life, so you remain able to plan what you are doing and to change your plans as necessary. You probably already have a complete calendar, but that isn't a sufficient organizing tool, since it shows only a small portion of what you have to organize. Instead, you need a thorough, all-encompassing organizational system. This is particularly helpful for people who experience too much day-by-day or hour-by-hour distraction, which makes it hard to focus or to accomplish goals effectively. A good organizational system is also helpful when you need to manage knowledge work, combining everyday details with the results of big-picture thinking. Appropriate ripples. To put yourself in the right mental state for getting things done, imagine that you have a mind like a body of calm water. If you throw a pebble into it, the water reacts appropriately. The ripples created on the surface are in proportion to the pebble's mass and force of impact, and once the water has absorbed the impact, it returns to a calm, tranquil state. Try to approach your tasks like that, so you give each one the appropriate amount of attention and effort, neither overreacting nor underreacting to the challenges. To be efficient, you must manage your commitments appropriately, so you don't make too many promises and add to your stress. Follow these 3 principles. 1. If something is unfinished, release it from your mind, put it in a system you trust, essentially a collection bucket, so you can sort through the information when you are ready to do so. 2. Be clear about exactly what commitments you have made, know precisely what you have to do to honor each commitment. 3. Once you decide what actions to take, set up a system of reminders. Review your reminders regularly, so you follow through. To test how well this approach works, write down the name of the project or situation that concerns you most at the moment. Then write a list of everything you need to do to move the project forward, which steps you must take, who you need to contact, etc. Just completing this exercise should give you a greater sense of control, relaxation, and focus. Put your list of concerns and actions in a safe, separate place to get them out of your mind literally and metaphorically until you are ready to deal with them. Managing your actions. Allocate your limited time by managing your actions. To begin, identify what you need to do, well in advance of when you need to do it. Clarify each project's action steps before you start, rather than proceeding and having to spend more time dealing with problems as they develop. Although many companies emphasize working downward from missions to objectives to the details of implementation, most people are so involved in day-to-day commitments that they have neither the time nor the breathing room to focus appropriately on the big picture. Thus, a good starting point is to get yourself up to date and in control of any issues that concern you right now, and then work on broadening your view. You can control your commitments, projects, and actions through horizontal or vertical controls. Horizontal controls coordinate your actions across all of the activities that engage you. Vertical controls guide your thinking through individual topics and projects, such as the sequence of tasks involved in a particular undertaking. If you can use horizontal and vertical controls effectively, you can get things off your mind and get things done, so you feel comfortable and in control of your work and your life. Mastering your workflow. To take control of your life, follow the 5 stages of mastering your workflow. These 5 stages help you manage the horizontal aspect of your life by combining everything that has your attention at any given time into an organized system. The 5 stages for dealing with your workflow are: 1. Collect. You can use various types of collection tools, such as a physical in-tray, a paper-based or an electronic note-taking device, a voice recording device or an e-mail message. To gather this information, get everything that draws your attention out of your head and into as few collection buckets as possible. Empty these buckets regularly, either by getting rid of material or processing it. 2. Process. With each item, ask yourself, what is it, and decide whether to deal with it there and then, defer it for later action or discard it. If you are going to act now, decide whether to do it yourself or delegate it. 3. Organize. Set up an organizing system, such as putting non-actionable items in categories called trash, incubation tools, or reference storage. If you plan to take action, put these items in the appropriate category, such as a list of projects, project plans and materials, a calendar, a list of reminders of next actions, or a list of reminders of things you're waiting for. Find a physical way to contain each of these organizational categories, such as a basket, notebook, or file system. 4. Review. Set up a time for a weekly review. Then, go over all of your identified actions and options. During this time, process all your stuff, review your system and update your lists, so you feel clear, current and complete. 5. Do. Use for criteria to choose what to do. First, consider context, which is the location you need to be in or the tools you need to carry out an action, for example, at home with your personal computer. Second, consider whether you have the time available to see it through. Third, ask if you have sufficient physical or mental energy for the task. And, fourth, set priorities. That is, if you have the right context, time and energy, what action is the most important one to take now? Project planning. To launch your project successfully, use 5 planning phases. These steps make up the vertical component of productivity management. The steps, in fact, reflect the way that people unconsciously think and plan, although many people don't necessarily follow them when they engage in conscious planning. For that reason, informal, natural planning often garners better results. Natural planning reflects the kind of thought process you undergo when you address everyday tasks, such as getting dressed, eating lunch, or simply having a conversation. Essentially, you engage in these 5 steps. 1. Defining your purpose and principles. Define what works for you, clarify your focus, align your resources and motivate yourself to act. 2. Outcome visioning. By creating this vision, you create a focus that helps you generate ideas and thought patterns that otherwise might not have come to you. This clarity helps you imagine the results you want. 3. Brainstorming. To consider multiple ideas, use tools that help you come up with options, such as mind mapping, displaying thought sequences graphically, or writing down ideas. Keep your mind open, so you don't judge or criticize, emphasize quantity not quality. You can analyze and organize these ideas later. 4. Organizing. Identify the significant pieces you need for your project and sort them by various components, processes or priorities. 5. Identify next actions. Select the next action for this project and for future planning. Earmark tasks that you are waiting for others to complete. Stress-free productivity. Now you can put these basic principles into practice by following these steps. Set up your time, space and tools. Create a block of time and prepare a workstation where you have the necessary space, furniture and tools. Basically, you need a writing surface and room for an in-tray, although you may want to add a fax, printer and other equipment. Even if you have an external office, set up some space at home with a system that is identical to what you have at your office, so you can work in both places. Your tools should include everyday supplies, such as an organizer and calendar, file folders, scotch tape, rubber bands, and post-it notes. Collect or corral your stuff. Allow a couple of hours for this step. Begin by searching for things that don't belong where they are or that are incomplete. Put these things in your inbox. Leave supplies, reference materials, decoration, and equipment in place. If something that needs action is too big for your in-tray, just write a note on a piece of letter-sized paper to represent it, date it, and add it to your system. Begin by putting things from your desk in your inbox and then move on to other parts of your workspace, including drawers, countertops, cabinets, shelves, and other cubbies. A list of incompletion triggers can help you remember other things you want to add to your inbox. such as a list of projects you need to start, projects you have started but haven't completed, commitments you must honor, financial constraints, communications you need to make, training seminars you want to attend, and so forth. Process your inbox. You want to go from in to empty. Discard anything that you don't need, complete any actions you can do in 2 minutes, delegate anything you can to others, put reminders of future actions into your organizing system, and identify any larger projects. To be effective, process the top item first, move through one item at a time, and never put anything back into your inbox. Use organizing steps and tools to help you process and create lists and groupings of things you want to organize. Use digital or paper-based folders to hold your lists and any reference or support information that applies to your projects. Make the best action choices. Now that you are organized, you can determine what to do next, based on the project's context, your available time and energy, and the priority of each action.